Hello and welcome back to another Space Engineers showcase video. In today's video, we're looking at a large non-combat ship called the Hero Ship 3H, which is this lovely thing right here. And I have no idea why, but it just reminds me of Quark from Ratchet and Clank. It's probably just the colour scheme, but it does look oddly familiar. Anyway, this ship is, like I said, a non-combat ship that features a fairly large interior and plenty of hydrogen thrusters, so we can go pretty much anywhere. Pressing F10 and finding it in the spawn menu, there it is. This thing is 1,883 large blocks, requiring the decorative block number 1 and number 2 DLC packs, the Frostbite and Sparks of the Future as well. It requires no mods, but it does have a few little scripts on here, which we'll see when we go around the interior. So we'll just give this a little thumbs up, come around to the front, and have a look around the outside. So all the way over to here, this is what we get. Front and center, we can see our lovely bridge of how we're going to fly this thing. Surrounding that is a bunch of lovely green blocks, which is the main theme for this ship, other than a small amount of grey and orange. Coming down here, we're going to have some more rounded green blocks with some hydrogen thrusters, which, like I said, are the only form of thrust that appear on this ship. And if we were to drop just below here, we'll see an ore detector, so we can go over to some asteroids and see if there's any goodies to be mined. If we were to start to come around the side here, we're going to see the first of a few hydrogen thruster pods, which just come across on some steel blocks. Over to here, where we've got 4 facing forwards, and we've got 6 on the side, 4 on the back. Then coming up to the top, again another bunch of 6. Then coming over to here underneath our wing, instead of the hydrogen thrusters, we then got some interior wall blocks. Then coming just below that, 6 more hydrogen thrusters. That'll be the same on the opposite side. If we were just come back over to here and line ourselves up, bring the sun back around, like so, and continue along, we're going to see this part right here, which is going to be a way to see inside the ship, to our living quarters, where we've got a small table set up, kitchens, beds, and all that, but we'll see that when we go on the inside. As we continue along, there is a secondary thruster pod to make sure we can go nice and fast with this ship, with a similar setup to the one we just saw. If we were to come all the way around to the very back here, we'll see the back of them, and of course a connector to make sure we can dock this up and recharge ourselves up with hydrogen. If you were to drop down, first of all, we're going to see a doorway to get in and out. This is more of an emergency doorway if we can't use our main entrance, which is going to be just below here, at our little gate block right here. So this is how we're going to primarily get in and out. We've got a button panel right there to open up the door, and that allows us to get inside and unload any cargo we bring along. Yeah, just looking down and underneath like this is what we get. Not too much else to talk about. It's just a nice little pattern going along with the green, orange, and grey. Yes, we can see the bottoms of our hydrogen thrusters. There is the bottom of our little hangar bay, and there is our ore detector at the very front. If I was to quickly come up and above here, above our bridge, we'll then see it link along to a little walkway, which is going to branch out to different rooms. We've got a few empty rooms on here, we've got a medical bay, and we do have a room that will lead down to the hangar bay, which is how we're going to get in and out of this ship. That just comes all the way along over to here, and on this section is our living quarter once again. Continuing along to the back there, got some more lovely block work, and that is just about the outside. It's a very simple outside, very clean look to it. It doesn't have much going on with it, but it does somehow make it look fantastic with how it's all been set up. So what we'll do now is just very quickly get my character out of the seat, come over to here, paste them over there, and we can now have a proper look inside. So coming all the way down and underneath, we're going to come over to our little gate block. I think it's a gate block. Just come over to here. Yes, it is the gate. I keep wanting to call it the hangar door, but yes, it's just plain gate. So over here, we can drop ourselves down, and we've got a little ramp up here to be very sneaky and perhaps surprise attack any unknowing person coming over to this door. We can just come over to this, press this button, and it will open up. Coming over to here, we'll then have another button where we can close it up, all nicely labelled. And this is the first room we will see. We've got a bunch of cargo containers, gyroscopes, assemblers, refineries, everything we need to survive, so we can easily just hop into here, dump everything off, and go off and continue mining by hand. Yes, there's our basic assembler. Over to here is a cargo container. There is our refinery, which comes across over to here. And of course, all the way around, we've got a few gyroscopes just dotted around over there, and some conveyors that go up and further into the ship. We do see a little area up there which is another little sneaky hiding spot where we can hide and pounce on our prey. That's only if you wanted to do that. Anyway, coming over to here, we then have a ladder to head on up. Now this is quite interestingly set up because we come all the way up to here and we're eventually going to stop. The way we get into our ship is simply by pressing spacebar, and now we're just standing on this little ledge next to a doorway. It's absolutely flawless, you won't fall off it, so you can just climb up the ladder, get to the top, press space, and you just get ejected onto this little lip. Anyway, opening up this doorway and closing it behind us, this is now the main interior. We've got our corridors going from back to the front. So yes, over here is the cockpit where we'll come to later on, and on the direct opposite side of where we just came up, it's going to be a small empty room. Now if you want to, you could always make this into, say, like a small little toilet block and have it like that, but that's entirely up to you. The empty rooms are for you to design and play around with yourself. We can just close that up and continue along. So walking over to here, we're going to open this up to another empty room for us to decorate, so we get to have a small private bedroom in here if you want to, a captain's quarter if you so wish. Then moving over to here, this one has been set up and is our medical bay, where our medical bay block is sitting along with our little scanner and evil experimental bench. Yes, we can just have a quick little recharge here. I'm not sure why the frame rate is being a little juddery. Anyway, we'll just continue along and pretend like it's all fine. Closing up that doorway and coming over to here, this is our living quarter that we saw earlier. We've got our table and chairs there to sit and eat our food. Over on this side, we've got a bar and kitchen block to cook our food, our locker to store some stuff in, and a few beds dotted around the outside for our crew to go and sleep in. If you were to come all the way over to this door right here, this then leads to our toilet block. We've got our shower and then toilet to sit on. Then turning around over to here, let's just close that up and continue along. We'll come to our reactor bay where it's being powered, and of course our lovely gravity generator to make sure we don't just float off when we jump. Yes, this is what is powering this thing, and we do have a few jump drives on here to make sure we can do some long distance trading if that is what you want. Continuing along over to here, we've got a big warning sign that says danger, no pressure beyond this point, so we need to make sure our helmet is down. Open up our double doorway, and this will be the door we saw earlier just below our connector. So yeah, just coming back through here, we can see a bunch more gyroscopes just being dotted around in here, which is very much needed on a large ship. Yes, we just close that up and continue along to the front. If you were to use this ship, it has been set up in a way that you can decorate it yourself, attach guns on, and of course more scripts. A script I would recommend is using the auto door and airlock script, so you don't have to keep turning around and closing the doors yourself. Anyway, we can come across to the bridge, which is going to be this right here. We've got some lovely orange steps that come all the way down over to here, where we can see some program blocks on our left and our right, a bunch of control seats for your co-pilots to sit on. This one has nothing going on with it. This one does have the script all set up and ready to run. Of course, the script is the ship integrity, where you can see the damage to the ship and all the other important stuff on the handy little diagram. Yes, we can come over to here. This programmable block is our automatic LCD screen script, and over here is of course the integrity script. Panning around and looking up, that is where our pilot is going to be sitting over to here, where they get a fantastic view at everything going around. Bringing up the HUD, we have nothing going on with our hotbar. I'm not sure if that is deliberate or not, but you can, if you want to, just flesh that out with maybe some batteries to auto or recharge, your hydrogen thrusters on and off, your gyroscopes, and maybe even your reactors depending on what you want to do. Yes, the hotbar is empty, so that means we can do a quick little thruster test to test out what's going on. So bring the sun back around and zooming all the way out, we can now move forwards, and this is what we get. We are quite speedy for a fairly large ship. Stopping it as well is going to be equally as good because our thrust distribution forwards and backwards is the same. Going left and going right, this is fantastic for a large ship. Going down and then going up again, fantastic for a large ship. And then wiggling my mouse around, this is what we get. We have quite a lot of control over this to the point it feels like a very small ship. So you may want to turn down the gyroscopes if you're not too happy with it, but it does have a small amount of dragging with it, so it's not too bad if you don't want to fiddle with the gyroscopes. Yes, there we go. We can just fly this around here. It's a very nice little ship. It looks fantastic with its overall colour scheme, and it still reminds me of Captain Quark from Ratchet & Clank for no reason whatsoever. Yes, that is pretty much it for this ship. There will be a link to it in the description below if If you wish to download and play around with it yourself, I highly recommend you do, because you can do a lot with this. Perhaps even remove some of the thrusters at the front near the cockpit and replace them with rocket launchers to blast your enemies with. That is entirely up to you with what you want to do with this ship. Yes, like I said, there'll be a link to this in the description below, and I'll be back with another video some point soon. Bye bye.